Okay, so let's get into the wild and wonderful world of warping. As I mentioned earlier, one of Ableton's key features is this warp engine that they've created, and it basically enables multiple different tracks and clips to play in sync with each other. And it is a very useful tool for both electronic music composition and DJing and performing live with Ableton. And I'll have another class on performing live with Ableton in a little bit. But what I want to do now is just describe the basic techniques for warping tracks and getting them to play together. So in my first audio track here, audio 1, I have a clip called Reggaeton. And if I double click on the name, what is going to happen is the clip editor window will open up. So I just double clicked here and it opened up this editor here. So now I can actually see the waveform of the clip, and a lot of other controls became available to me. So if I launch the clip by touching the little triangle next to the name, you'll see the clip start to play here. This is what we call the playhead, and it will play through, and then it will stop because it's not warped and it's not looping. So let's get familiar with the tone here of what's happening. All right, so a couple of things that we noticed is that there was a sort of guitar kind of intro bit here, and then the beat kicked in right here. All right, and I can see that that beat kicked in by the peak and amplitude, or the transient, in the waveform. And if I want to get a little closer, I can mouse over the waveform and see the magnifying glass shows up, and I can pull my mouse down and take a good look at that, or push it back up and close things back down. So to get things to play in sync, I need to engage the warp engine. And basically I just hit the warp button here and it warps the track. Now you can see once it warped, a few things changed here. All of a sudden I have bar markers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have a whole bunch of little sort of slices or little lines here. And what these lines are is they are suggested warp markers that Ableton has put in, indicating where I might want to put in a warp marker. And then it also put in one warp marker, this yellow little tab here at the very beginning of the track. So let's listen to it again. So it still sounds basically the same, except what's happening now is I can see where bar 3 begins, which is this area right here. But the downbeat of the music is actually late. So I'm going to roll the track again, and I'm going to count this time. And I'll count along with you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So I can see that this hit right here is the downbeat of the rhythm. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click on it right there at the beginning of this, what we call transient. And I'm going to drag it over to 3. So now this is going to be a 2-bar loop, and it's going to play in sync. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom. Right? So it landed right on the downbeat. Another way that I can tell it's in sync after I move my warp marker to bar 3 is if I use the metronome. So I'm going to turn on my metronome here. Let's make sure my count ends are off. So I engage my metronome up here at the top of my screen, and my metronome volume is right over here. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit. And let's just listen to this first part. So I'm going to turn the metronome on and then launch my clip. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So all is well up until this point, but now I can see that I'm having some problems here in the second half of the rhythm because I moved my warp marker over and the track is still playing too slow. So let's listen now to this second part of the beat. I can see by counting, listening to the beat, that this is the downbeat of the next bar right here. So let's listen to that again. right? So I'm going to drag this back over to 4. And the way that I was able to begin playing inside the clip, if I mouse over right here, a little speaker icon shows up, and that means I can launch from this area right here. So here we go. Still too slow. So I need to drag this one back over here. Double click, creates a warp marker. So now we've got actually 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 bars of just guitar, and then 2 bars of guitar and rhythm. So let's play it from the top. And let's play it along with our metronome too. I'm going to turn the metronome up, turn the metronome on, and launch the clip. So that is sounding pretty good up until this point. That's basic warping. What I've done is I've pinned the audio to the timeline inside the clip by double clicking on it and creating a warp marker and then placing it on the downbeat of the music. And I gotta say that the only way that you're gonna get good at warping is to practice. You have to practice, and I recommend practicing with really simple beats.